morning, everyone. So this is just like a little follow-up video, conference day 2. So somebody, in response to my video that I posted yesterday, somebody commented and said, I'm curious to know what you think about white vegans comparing slavery and the Holocaust to the exploitation of non-human animals. And they were like, just wanted to know your opinion on that. So my opinion on that is, well, my dear friend Carla Rosa said something really amazing yesterday, and it was, don't poke and prod at issues that you're not ready to fully unpack yet. And I that resonated with me, and I hope that it resonated with a lot of white people, because my stance on that is, white people, it is never within your right to ever fucking bring up slavery in a discussion about animal rights or animal liberation or human liberation ever. You want to know why? Because y'all ancestors are the ones who founded the system that slavery was built upon and the system that animal exploitation was built upon. Y'all started that. So if you want, like, a lot of the things is that the assertion is that, well, how could you support white people saying, how could you support the oppression of other beings? How could you expect us to care about y'all oppression when you don't care about other people's oppression? And the simple answer to that is that white men are the root of both of those oppressions. So you're basically victim blaming by saying, like, why don't you... Okay, let me just keep it really fucking simple. White vegans, it's never ever your fucking place to bring up slavery in a conversation about animal exploitation. Very clearly, because y'all aren't willing to talk about racism, institutional racism, how you benefit from the, what did Breeze say? She said the white supremacist racial caste system built upon antebellum slavery. If you're not ready to have a full conversation and abandon your privileges, abandon your racial biases, fully support Black and brown families, work for the stopping family detention of immigrant people or migrant people, then don't bring that shit up ever. Don't bring it up ever, period. You're always invited to listen on the intersectionality of those discussions, but you will always be listening to a Black or brown vegan saying that. You should never bring that up. It's not within your right, but mostly because y'all caused the shit and you're not willing to talk about it further than that. So I think Carla also said that in that conversation, it usually ends pretty quickly, because a white vegan will come up to a Black person and say, well, why don't you care about animals? You wanted us to care about you, and now we all know that slavery is not right. No, that's not true. And then the Black person is like, y'all don't give a fuck about Black or brown people still. Let's talk about that. You want an end to speciesism? This person at the conference was like, I want to end the speciesism now. Well, we want to end the racism now. How are we going to see ourselves as equal with all these species if we have a caste system within our own? Not your place. Don't ever do it. Because the connections that they're making are very vague, and they're very ignorant. They're very shallow. And it's not for the purpose of multi-level analysis. It's for the purpose of victim blaming and shaming people into... the roles in which we've been placed in this society. So white people never fucking do that. Yeah, that shit pisses me off too. So the person commented and was like, it just doesn't sit right. And it doesn't, because of their comparison of us to animals. And your delivery is just gonna suck, and it's gonna be wrong. This is also one of those places where there are many Black and brown people who could tackle and facilitate this conversation through a lens of the oneness that runs through us all, the beingness that runs through us all, the thread of consciousness, but not saying, well, we used to see Black and brown people as animals and we freed y'all niggers, so why can't you do... No, you didn't. Number one. Number two, you're still racist as fuck, because you think Black and brown people deserve to be detained or separated from their families. You don't see them the same as dairy cows and calves. So that's my read on that. Anyway, support Redefine Your Mind, Demetria. She is the best. Her name is Demetria D. Black-owned vegan hemp clothing. They have shirts, hats. At the center of every vegan is a G. So, at least Black vegans. I don't know about the others. There's this water bottle. Love it because it keeps my water cold, and also because I've been trying to do less plastic. Shameless plug. Moral of this story, Don't ever fucking do it. Especially if you're not willing to talk about your own racial biases. Don't bring it up, first of all. But if you want to enter this conversation, sure, let's talk about it. But we'll be talking about it, not you. Shut the fuck up.